The topic, as we know, is about the art of directing or turning the mind inwards. What techniques are needed? What are the methods that will enable us, which will facilitate us to direct the mind inwards? But before I talk about how to direct the mind inwards, it's important first to talk why. Why is it even important? Logically, it is very much logical to question that if we are given to understand that the self is all pervasive, is ever existing, is ever present, and at all places, then why is the need for us to go inwards? Is the self only present inwards? Is it not everywhere? Argument is very valid, no? But there is a reason. There are three core fundamental reasons why the instruction given by Bhagavan and the sages and the jnanis and the yogis tell us that we must all try to move inwards. We must turn inwards to realize the self or to realize the Atman. The three fundamental reasons are that we need to remove the three obstructions. The first obstruction is that of the sense objects. Tell me something. When we put our gaze outwards, what are we actually seeking? Be honest. Are we actually seeking self or Atman? What are we actually seeing? What are we having interaction with? And you will see that it is a sense objects. Our possessions, our attachments, the people around us, and the various objects that are given to us in the world, the external world, is an object. And these objects act as veil or obstructions upon the self. So when we are gazing outwards at all times, what we are seeing is not the self. Even though self is present, absolutely, it is all pervasive. But we are not seeing the self. What we are seeing are these objects, all the problems of these objects, and the solutions that we need to do, we need to come up with to deal with these objects, right? So we can say that the first obstruction is of the objects itself, the sense objects. They act as obstructions or veil upon the self or Atman. Just like the sun is ever shining, but sometimes the clouds come over them, and someone looking into the sky will think that the sun is not present. So it is an illusion. The first illusion is the obstruction of the sense objects covering over the self. The second obstruction is by our own sense organs. So which are the sense organs? They are called Jnanendriyas. So the nose, the tongue, the ears, the eyes, the skin. These 5 sense organs, they are also obstructions upon our abidance in the self or our realizations of self, because these sense organs are not interested or not trained, are not habitually trained to look for the self. They are habitually predisposed to have an engagement, to have a relationship with the sense objects itself. So when we are small children, we loved the toys, and then we wanted a bike, then we want a car, then we want a husband or wife, then we want money, then we want better bank balance, then we want to think about our health. These are all the objects that come and go in our life, and our sense organs are primed, are basically trained, habitually indisposed to create a deep relationship with how to get connected to these sense objects. They are not trained to find and locate the sense of self. That's a second obstruction. In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna says in chapter 2, verse 58, Yada samharte chayam kurmuganev sarvasha indriyani indriyarthebhya tasya prajna pratishthatha. Here Bhagavan is advocating that we must try to bring our senses inwards. Senses are always baharmukhi. The gaze is always outwards. It is turned outwards. So he gives the example of a tortoise, that how the tortoise can withdraw the limbs inwards, so should we from time to time withdraw our senses within us. If we develop the ability to withdraw the senses, just like those limbs within us, we become qualified to become one with the divine consciousness. We can gain the knowledge of us, of the self. The Gyanendriyas, which is the instruments of knowledge, which are these five, like I said, the sense organs, they are just termed Jnana. But the real knowledge is not of the objects. The real knowledge is of the self, because that's where we understand, we know what real liberation or mukti is. If we get entangled only with the fascinations that we have with the objects, we will get trapped into them. We always get fascinated by the bulbs, for example, and giving example of the bulb, that we may get attracted by the different shades of bulbs that are there, but we don't see that there is electricity that empowers the bulb to look what it is, how bright it is. Similarly, the sense objects also get all their power from the self itself. But unfortunately, again, our sense instruments of knowledge, the Gyanendriyas, are not trained. They are habitually enforced to develop a relationship with the different sense objects that are there. The third important reason why we must move inwards, try to put our gaze inwards, withdraw inwards, is because of the false expectations that these objects give us. The outer objects, if you're always thinking about outer objects in the world, the external world, what will happen is, temporarily we will feel very happy, joyful, because we'll experience a sense of pleasure in it, undoubtedly so. But you will see with time that one object is then replaced by another one, and then another one, then another one. The objects keep changing again and again, but we don't experience the fullness, we don't experience the sense of completion, permanence of happiness and ananda, because these objects aren't supposed to give you that permanence. There is absolutely nothing that I am against the objects or any kind of sense pleasures. I am not pointing towards that, or the sages also are not pointing towards that. It is not to be looked or frowned down upon. But we must have an understanding that if our entire pursuit is towards deriving pleasure, then we are going to get very much disappointed that we have seen again and again and experienced again and again in our life, till a time comes where we feel enough is enough. Why do I feel a sense of lack in my life, irrespective of what I have read and done, or irrespective of how many objects and how many things I have accumulated and possessed? Why am I still feeling unfulfilled? And at that moment of time, real wisdom, real jnana, and you will start to look for answers or remedies within yourself. So, three fundamental reasons of why to move inwards, and why Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi also said, very beautifully, he said, when the mind is turned outwards, it's called the ego. And the same mind, when it turns within, is called the self. So we must take it seriously, like we must try as much as possible to not just always be bahirmukhi, just always looking outside, and always be dealing and engaging and all the time with the objects and things around the world and the external world. We're not to denounce them, we're not to run away from them, we don't have to escape from them. We must include the pursuit of self-realization, self-awakening as the most important goal, because that's the whole purpose of human life, is liberation, is mukti. So now we'll come to how we have to do it. So there are stages, small, one thing. Please listen carefully to this. First practice is with eyes closed. So whenever you can, during the day, when you are involved in your normal activities, you can simply close your eyes. You can either connect with Bhagavan, or you could just feel the sense of I amness, that you exist and you exist here, you always will continue to exist. Remember, this existence always will be there. Whoever says that your existence will not be there doesn't know. Doesn't know it. Death is just a passing phase. But I'm not talking about reincarnation here of you. That's another subject. That is not what I'm talking about. It's not reincarnating of you. It's the aham, I-ness, I-amness. That always exists, irrespective of the condition of the body. Always will be. So connect to that one thing. That's the only permanent solace within you that you can find. And or anyone that you can devote to, Bhagavan or your Guru or whoever you believe in, or Shiva or whoever, or your gods, whoever you want to believe in, you close your eyes and just feel them, communicate with them. Try to have that relationship as the most important relationship that you have in this world, because everything else will change. They're temporary. They will come and they will go. But you will, this I amness will continue to exist. Right? So latch on to the feet of Bhagavan and be with him, or whoever you worship, or You latch onto the sense of I. So that's a first method. The second is with the eyes open. So it is not, as you start to close your eyes and you feel the sense of I-ness, now during your normal time, during your normal, when you're doing engaging in an activity, the next step is with your eyes open, when you are engaging with the activity, at that moment you can probably pause your thought for 2 to 5 seconds, just 2 to 5 seconds. Or you can hold your breath for 2 to 5 seconds. Like if you hold your breath for 2 to 5 seconds, you'll see that the thought also has paused. With the thought pausing, breath pausing, you're immediately brought to the sense of I. Now feel that I-ness just for those 2 to 5 seconds. That's one very beautiful way to continue the sense of to continue the self-inquiry with what you did with your eyes closed. Also, you can do the same thing with your eyes open by just simply pausing the thoughts or pausing the breath, holding the breath for 2 to 5 seconds at one time. That makes inquiry continuous. Right? You can do that a few times in a day. You don't have to get obsessive. Just few times whenever you can remember. Yes, now it's my time. I can't close my eyes because I have to do some work. But what I can do is I can switch off my thought that I'm continuously thinking. If you realize how much thoughts are pouring in and day out, minute by minute, how much worries take over you, right? So that moment, just put a halt to that. Come to the sense again. You don't have to close your eyes. Just pause, and you will see you back. You have abiding again to the sense of I. Right now, the third method is you don't close your eyes. You don't pause your thought. This is the third stage. Here you come to this understanding. You just simply remind yourself that all of this is an illusion. It's a mithya. It's a dream that you are experiencing. Everything, whatever you're worried about, whatever you're too concerned about, is just a trap. It's just a dream, maybe a bad dream. Just like good dreams you sometimes have a bad dream. It's just a dream, nothing else. So it's mithya. Use mithya buddhi, the path of illusion. This is all maya. It's all false. So stage 1, close eyes. Stage 2, second practice, open eyes, but pause your thought, pause your breath for some 2 to 5 seconds. And third is use mithya buddhi, illusion. This is all illusion. Make yourself understand this seeking that I'm doing, this worries that I'm indulging in is just mithya. It's an illusion. And if you do that, trust me, you will see to it that things will automatically resolve. But if you fall into fear, if you fall into any kind of panic, you're establishing a very strong habitual pattern of the ego, right? The mind will become obsessive about worrying. So prevent yourself from doing that. Use the third stage, which is mithya buddhi. And now I come to the fourth. Here there is no practice required. Here the self holds you. Rather than you holding the self or trying to close your eyes and holding the sense of I am, or you trying to pause the thought or the breath for a duration of 2 to 5 seconds, or you even pointing out to this mithya of the world, none of that, no effort, nothing, no practice. It becomes effortless knowledge when the self itself holds you. It's like the substratum, this awareness that from where you have come, you realize this is who I am. It's a strong knowingness that cannot be shakeable by or moved by any form of external events that may happen. It's just a strong belief. I can't call it a belief. It's just an inner evidence, you can say, that you have got the evidence of who you truly are. And then you are unshakable, unmoved, by whatever happens into the world. You're not a recluse, you are in the world, but you are like a person who's inwardly in vairagya, not outwardly, inwardly detached from everything. And that would be the fourth stage, which is not a practice, which is where uh, simply the mind is moves deeply, becomes the self, knows that it is a self. Okay, and at that moment of time, there are experiences which I don't want to go because it will condition you. But I can just tell you that time is there's a knowledge about you being permanent. There's a knowledge about permanent joy, uninterrupted happiness, and ananda, joyfulness.